A few weeks ago, I discussed a Chinese VTuber called Porin, a content creator who disappeared for 6 months from their Bilibili channel and had released no social media post explaining why. After they came back from this hiatus 6 months later, they made a video where they explained that they had been human trafficked for the past 6 months and had only recently been rescued, releasing a statement where they explained that a group of people had come after them, that they were the police, and that Porin must come with them to take a statement, then taking Porin to a van before she doubted it, taking her to a village so far away she didn't even know where she was, and selling her to a middle-aged auntie, who ordered Porin about, beat her and scolded her if she didn't do well, and smoked, using Porin as an ashtray. Obviously, after Porin was rescued and made their video about this situation, I and many other creators discussed it, seeing how genuinely concerning this is, how horrifying it is of a story, and how little human trafficking is talked about surrounding China. Recently, Porin's video about this situation was deleted from their Bilibili account, and their Bilibili account was suspended following this deletion. Then, Porin's agency released a testimony explaining why this content had been deleted, and saying that they believed Porin had lied about this situation. When translating their post, it reads, "At 5:05 PM on the evening of May the 21st, 2022, the account Porin released a video titled, 'About me disappearing for half a year, I was abducted and sold. The video of this matter, after verification by the police, has been determined as not true. It's been taking up social resources and brought adverse effects on society.' And that's why they deleted the video and why Porin's account was suspended. There's a slight issue here. Many Chinese people have reached out to content creators in China and content creators outside of China, like me. I've had comments on my video saying we should take down our videos about the situation because this situation was proved fake. Problem is, situations like this in China aren't handled very well. If we reference my previous video on this situation, I linked a Wikipedia article about the chained woman incident that took place in China this year. This was a situation surrounding a video where a mentally disturbed and imprisoned woman was seen to be chained to a wall and had given birth to 8 children. People tried to investigate this situation when it happened earlier this year, and many people were arrested for investigating this because this was a politically sensitive period surrounding the 2022 Winter Olympics. When this situation reached bigger publicity, local officials dismissed this human trafficking claim, saying that the woman had been legitimately married to the local man and was mentally ill. However, when they faced more public pressure, they conducted a higher level investigation that led to the arrest of 2 people suspected of human trafficking, as well as the woman's husband for illegal detention, with authorities also punishing 17 officials for dereliction of duty in the handling of this case. What this should say to you and to me is that Chinese officials often pass off these stories or don't properly investigate them unless they reach a point where they are viral or otherwise big enough that they can't ignore them or pass them off as if they haven't happened. Also, if we refer back to the statement that the agency had released surrounding the situation, they say this has taken up social resources and brought adverse effects to society. By adverse effects, it's very hard to know what they mean, but I get the implication here that one of the reasons this situation has been passed off, and they've said that this situation isn't true, is because it's had some sort of social effect. And China is very well known for their kind of censorship surrounding society in the country. The point I'm trying to make is it's very hard to know what truly happened surrounding the situation. As far as we're aware, the police have said this didn't happen, Porin has said it did, and I see no reason why someone would disappear for 6 months out of nowhere with no explanation and then claim they were human trafficked unless there was some kind of truth behind it. Though it really is up to you to determine what you believe. In my opinion, I think there isn't enough evidence to know either way whether this was true or whether it wasn't, but I'm leaning towards believing that there must be some sort of truth behind the situation, but that we won't know unless more information comes out about the situation, which it likely wouldn't, leaving us on a cold trail. And I'd hoped more information had come out, so I waited on making this video, but seeing as nothing new has come out of this situation, I thought it was best to make a video saying that my previous video covered a situation that may or may not be true. The Porin situation is an alleged situation that took place surrounding someone who disappeared for 6 months with no other reason. China is a very well-censored place, and cases like this in the past have been passed off or excused, so who really knows what happened? And I just don't want people to take the previous story I discussed as complete truth, but I do also want to believe that there is no reason Porin would lie, and I want to support someone who may be a victim in this situation. With that being said though, if you are new to the channel, I would appreciate if you could subscribe. I make videos every single day discussing situations like this one. I'm aiming for 100,000 subscribers, and we're only 4,000 subscribers away. If you'd like to support me in reaching that goal, I couldn't ask for anything more from you, and it would be so highly appreciated as we're edging closer and closer to that goal than I ever imagined we would. You can also turn on the notifications if you'd like to get notified when I make other videos on this channel, because obviously I don't just upload one video. This isn't the only video I've ever uploaded. And if you did click on this video, you'd probably be interested in my previous video on Porin and other videos and situations like this one, where I discuss the ongoings and happenings in the anime community. For example, when I made a video about a Japanese author who was arrested on some very disturbing charges. Finally though, if you'd like to support me outside of this channel, you can check out my Twitch. I've been trying to reach 1K over there. I would appreciate if you could follow it. Finally, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter to get updates on these situations before I get to make them as a video, and if you'd like to get to know me better, communicate with me, reach out to me, send me suggestions for stories, you can communicate with me on my Discord. That being said, I'll see you next time. Peace.
Says she wanna rock with a nigga like me. I'm a stylish guy. Spend a little guap with a nigga like me. We can catch a fly. Says she wanna rock with a nigga like me.